Hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss. I'm Shelley Carney. Today we're at the Petroglyph National Monument located on the West Mesa area of Albuquerque. There's just so much to see. It's about 17 miles wide and it's just full of petroglyphs from the ancient Puebloan people who lived or passed through this area on their travels. There's all sorts of different petroglyphs that we'll be able to see on different hikes. There's several different hikes, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful day here in Albuquerque.
The majority of our petroglyphs were carved by the ancient Pueblo people sometime between 400 and 700 years ago. There's also more recent, what we consider recent petroglyphs that were done by the Spanish that settled in this area starting in the late 1600s, early 1700s. So they were using stone tools. There's some debate on that as well. It could have been one stone that they were pecking, or probably in some cases there was a combination of different techniques, but it might have had a stone and chisel kind of technique as well, and we think they might have needed that for some of the more detailed, elaborate petroglyphs. Contemporary Pueblo people will tell you that they've been around for time immemorial, and there's a lot of debate about the significance. Folks sometimes want to know exactly what they meant, and there's different interpretations of the petroglyphs, but there's no doubt of their power, the connection that you have with these ancient people when you see the petroglyphs.
We're here at Piedras Marcadas, and we're looking for the first petroglyph, which is supposed to be up here around the bend somewhere.
So there's 3 petroglyph viewing sites. Boca Negra Canyon, which is probably the best known, well-known. Majority of our visitors go there. It's kind of very accessible. There's a ton of really important petroglyphs there. There's one site just south of the visitor center here, which is called Rinconada Canyon, and that's a really secluded, very beautiful 2.2-mile loop. And there's petroglyphs there as well, and in some cases some very striking, very vivid petroglyphs. And then the other petroglyph viewing site is 6.5 miles from the visitor center here, and that's called Piedras Marcadas, and that's it's about a 1.5 mile trail, and it has the highest concentration in sheer numbers of petroglyphs. There's just a ton of really good petroglyphs there. So all 3 sites are a little different, but they're all really rich. There's a lot to see there, and even for us as rangers, we go there a lot, and you can go back and see different petroglyphs that you somehow missed, or just learn more about the area. A lot of people, even people that live here in the Southwest, have not really seen a petroglyph, and you could come here and in a very short time see some really striking petroglyphs.
Well, on the trails itself, it's pretty flat and you can wear comfortable clothes. But if you are going to go up into the mountain, into the rocks to take pictures or get a closer look at the petroglyphs, make sure you're wearing hiking boots. If you come in the summer, only go in the early morning. It gets way too hot in the afternoon. Right now, we're in the middle of the day in December, and it's just perfect. So really a good time to go. Hope you have a good time in the petroglyphs like we did.
So the majority of our petroglyphs, we believe, were carved when the ancient Pueblo people were settled permanently along the Rio Grande River, and there are different plants up here, and I mentioned the grinding slicks a moment ago, and so perhaps they were well, we know that they were gathering different medicinal plants that perhaps they couldn't find down by the river. There was also hunting up here. We believe there were some game up here that they were hunting, and there was a historical, actually, incidentally, the what we call the escarpment, which is the volcanic escarpment, where those basalt boulders then tumble down through erosion, and that's where the ancient people carved the petroglyphs. That those are actually it's a really wonderful habitat for different types of squirrels and rabbits, and so there were a lot of game and in fact still today there's a lot of wildlife throughout the escarpment, and so that was attracting them.
So we're at the top of Boca Negra, the top of the trail, It's quite a climb, but there are stairs and some handholds. I would suggest not wearing tennis shoes or anything slippery because you are climbing up some rocks. Should be in fairly good shape because we're already a mile high in Albuquerque in elevation, so climbing can be a little bit difficult. But yeah, it's pretty cool up here. You see a lot of petroglyphs along the trail, along the way up, and then you get to the top and you get to see everything from the panorama. You can look all around the volcanoes, the Sandia Mountains, and the entire city. So it's pretty cool. I would suggest everybody give it a shot.
In some cases, the petroglyphs, it's hard to really decipher what it might be. But in other cases, there's a handful, there's a number of symbols that show up not only all along the escarpment, but throughout the Southwest. So although the petroglyphs were carved over a long period of time, it's conceivable that they did have different meanings, perhaps at different times, and they certainly, as you said, unlike hieroglyphics where their images had a specific meaning, petroglyphs, we don't believe were developed in that way.
So we visited Boca Negra in the Petroglyph National Monument, and Kevin and I went up the face climbing. It's kids could do it, but make sure they're wearing really good sturdy footwear. There is some climbing up the side of some rocks. It's not too awfully hard, but I mean, I made it and I'm fine. But if you're not really in good shape, then maybe just take a picture from down where the parking lot is.
It's kind of what we sometimes call the beautiful mystery of the monument, in that there's a lot of unanswered questions really about these petroglyphs, but we know that they took a lot of time and effort to create these petroglyphs using stone tools. This was not an easy endeavor that they were doing, removing what we call the dark desert finish, the patina on that basalt stone. They were removing that, and then of course the lighter color, gray color of the stone is what creates the contrast. So they were spending a lot of time and effort creating these petroglyphs, so they obviously had an important cultural and perhaps spiritual meaning for the people that carved them. But people that are looking for an exact, there's a lot of contemporary Pueblo groups that have developed theories on and beliefs on what those symbols mean, and we try to respect all of those beliefs.
So we just had a wonderful day here in Albuquerque at the Petroglyphs National Monument. Got to see a lot of wonderful petroglyphs, feel the spiritual nature of the monument, connect with the history of this place and the Puebloan people who lived here in the Rio Grande Rift area near the volcanoes. So just really amazing. If you are visiting Albuquerque, I would highly suggest you take the opportunity to come out here, see the Visitors Center, go on a hike, see some of the petroglyphs for yourself, and just get a feel for the meditative state that you can enter in, the amazing energy that's in the petroglyph area, in the basalt all around you. I hope that you had a good time watching this video. We had a great time making it, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.